I mean, that's still an easygoing date.
Yeah.
Multiple dates.
I'm an easygoing date. I just don't go on a lot of dates. I don't really meet a lot of guys because I don't have any dating apps. I've said that like many times, and I haven't had luck on dating apps. I've met like the most craziest weird people on dating apps, and it's just like, even when I was on dating apps, it's just like weird. Like, you start the conversation, some guy will be in a fucking private jet, and then all of a sudden he'll send you a picture of him like working for the airline, and you're like, what the fuck?
Yo,
like,
yes.
why?
Yeah.
Why do you have this picture, and why are you wearing like these fucking things and the vest with the lights? And it's like, it's just like misleading. And then it's like, okay, you start the conversation and then it just like dies down, it gets weird. Or it's like some guy's like, send me a selfie of you, and it's like, I don't want to. Like, I'm not wearing makeup right now, I'm over 30, like, I'm not sending you a fucking selfie.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? If you want to FaceTime me, we could do that, but like, don't start asking me for pictures. And then it's like, you can't.
Gosh,
Yeah.
it's so weird.
You're asking for an investment in your time when a total stranger.
Like that, and it was the weirdest. Like,
Yeah, it's just like, I don't feel like it's like natural. Like, it's not like genuine. It's
Yeah.
just like, oh, here's a picture. I don't know if you're a good person or a bad person. Like, I don't know if I like you. Like, from your picture, like, how could you really gauge a person or the energy if you guys are compatible or not from a picture? Then I have to like continue the conversation, text you, and then meet you, and then I find out I don't like you anyway, and then I wasted all this time. You know what I mean? So I don't like dating apps. I really just prefer to meet someone in a natural setting, and then if it happens, but it hasn't happened recently.
We can do it in post. He has got multicam recording, but that is a bitch and a half in post.
Oh, poor girl. Okay.
You ready? Yeah. Okay. Hey, and welcome to another episode of Tacos and Shawarma. Today we're here with our guests, Sammy CC Marie, TikTok creator and model, Natalie Stavola, who is a life and dating coach and actress, and of course you're here with your hosts, Al and Sebastian. Today we'll be talking about a lot of interesting things, but mostly dating because of our on-deck dating coach.
Expert.
Yeah, an expert. And I think we're all a hot mess, so we might need the help.
Oh my God. Speak for yourself.
How are you guys today?
Oh, lovely. This has been amazing so far. We've already been having conversations here, enjoying getting to know each other. This is going to be a blast.
Yeah, we're excited about it. I'm excited.
That's great. Okay, so one of the first things that I want to just bring up, because it's something that we talk about a lot, is splitting checks.
Oh.
Right?
Yeah.
And traditional roles within dating.
We're getting into it already. Let's go.
Sammy, we're going to start with you, Sammy, because I think you are the youngest on the panel today.
She is the youngest.
Yeah. How do you feel about splitting checks? Like, if you go on a first date and someone asks to split a check, how are you?
Who the fuck is asking this bitch to split a
Yo.
check?
I guarantee you.
Man, to ask this girl to fucking
How
split
often
a
does
check.
it happen?
Not often.
Better not.
I mean, I don't date often in general, so it hasn't really happened often. But the times that I have dated, it has never happened.
Really?
Okay, good.
No.
Yeah, nobody's gonna look at her. Nobody's
I
gonna ask her to
personally-
split a check.
I personally wouldn't mind splitting a check.
No, yes, you
know?
do.
Yeah.
She's
She's young. We'll get,
Yeah.
That's so funny. But I don't know. I don't really have an opinion on it, to be honest. I feel like whoever's idea it was, to go on the date should pay for it. But I mean,
That's why I don't have any more ideas to go on dates. Like, I'm not splitting anything.
What is your ideal date? Like, if someone asked you out, like, what's something you want to do?
My ideal date, depending on the guy. So, like, if I feel comfortable with him and I'm, like, really into him, I would like the guy to rent a SUV, like an Escalade, roll up a blunt, and just, like, go through a McDonald's drive-thru and just chill and talk and, like, smoke. You know what I mean? Like, I prefer that over, like, a fancy dinner. Like, fancy dinners are cool and they taste good, but it's, like, I just want to, like, actually, like, feel the vibe. Like, I want to, like, if I can sit with you in a car and eat french fries and smoke a blunt and laugh, like, that's more fun to me than, like, just having, like, a steak, which is cool too. Like, I like steak, but I want to, like, feel your vibe, like, your energy.
Yeah, I get that.
I would
I
like
feel
to
that
like
for
cruise
sure.
around with a driver and just like, talk and just chill and whatever.
That is so much more easygoing than I had in mind, what
I
you were
feel
going to
like-
say.
I feel
Why?
like a steak dinner is more for like a serious relationship type thing. Like if you're celebrating something, then I'll go to a steak dinner with you. But I'm not gonna go to a steak dinner with you on the first date. That's crazy.
Yeah. I mean, that's a best friend vibe for me. You know what I mean? Getting
Which-
in on a ribeye.
That's like
Yeah.
an intimate situation.
Yeah, it's
I'm
a lot.
not
It's a
into
lot.
it.
It's a lot of pressure.
Yeah.
Like now, because I like to order a lot of things. I like to taste food. And
Yes.
it's like now you're paying for the meal, so now I'm like I have to think about what options I want, and I'm normally the type to like order a bunch of shit, and then I don't want to order it on your dime, and I don't want to order it on my dime. So it's
Yeah.
like now it's like I just kind of like I don't
Awkward.
like
Yeah.
feeling like I have to be
Think about
careful of
that.
how much I'm spending.
Yeah, I mean, that's still an easygoing date.
Yeah.
Multiple, like,
I'm an
dates.
easygoing date. I just don't go on a lot of dates. I don't really meet a lot of guys because I don't have any dating apps. I've said that like many times, and I haven't had luck on dating apps. I've met like the most craziest weird people on dating apps, and it's just like even when I was on dating apps, it's just like weird. Like you start the conversation, some guy will be in a fucking private jet, and then all of a sudden he'll send you a picture of him like working for the airline, and you're like, what the fuck?
Yo,
Like why?
yes. Yeah.
Why do you have this picture and why are you wearing like these fucking things and the vest with the lights? And it's like it's just like misleading. And then it's like, okay, you start the conversation and then it just like dies down, it gets weird. Or it's like some guy's like, send me a selfie of you. And it's like, I don't want to. Like, I'm not wearing makeup right now. I'm over 30. Like, I'm not sending you a fucking selfie.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? If you want to FaceTime me, we could do that. But like, don't start asking me for pictures. And then it's like,
oh
you
my
can't.
gosh,
Yeah.
it's so weird.
You're asking for an investment in
I've
your
had-
time when
yeah,
a total
situation like
stranger.
that, and it was the weirdest. Like,
Yeah, it's just like I don't feel like it's like natural. Like it's not like genuine. It's
Yeah.
just like, oh, here's a picture. I don't know if you're a good person or a bad person. Like I don't know if I like you. Like from your picture, like how could you really gauge a person
That's-
or the energy if you guys are compatible or not from a picture? Then I have to like continue the conversation, text you, and then meet you, and then I find out I don't like you anyway, and then I wasted all this time. You know what I mean? So I don't like dating apps. I really just prefer to meet someone in a natural setting, and
Yeah.
then if it happens, it happens, but it hasn't happened recently.
I have heard the worst horror stories from Elle.
Mhm.
Like she even
Damn.
we talked about on another episode. She talked about like this guy admitting to her that he came out of prison
Oh,
for
yeah.
murder,
Mhm.
and I'm like, geez, like I mean, is the dating scene really that bad?
yes.
Yeah, it's horrible.
Look, I don't know. I've dated some gnarly ones too. Because in my head too, I've done that where like some dude's getting out of prison. I'm like, well, you know what? We've all had a past.
Yeah,
I've
no,
been that
that's not gonna
girl.
work. I've been the girl. I
No.
was that girl too. I'm not that girl anymore. If you just came
Exactly.
out of jail, like go somewhere
Yeah,
else.
you're gonna need something
That's
else.
Go work on yourself.
Yeah,
I've dated a lot of guys who've been in jail. So I'm like, I thought, it's normal, but it's not. And
Right.
I don't want anything if you're like just came out of jail and you're just like in a pit and you got to get your life together. I don't want to deal with you.
not
Like, if
even
your shit is-
jail. Yeah.
Whatever. If your shit is not together, you don't have a car, you don't have an apartment, you have roommates, I don't want to talk to you.
And by the way, that's not like a transactional thing of like, oh, a woman just wants money or anything like that. It's like, no, a man doesn't want a woman who doesn't have her shit together either. It's like, if you don't love yourself and you're not fucking with yourself, don't bring that vibe to someone else and try and make that person make you feel better about your existence.
I feel like men also try to use women a lot. Like,
Oh, it works both ways on that one. Yeah.
Yeah, but I mean, I feel like there's a double standard. It's not
Yeah.
as bad if the woman because men are supposed to be givers and women are supposed to be more of the receivers. So I just don't really like men who try to use women for stuff. You know what I mean? It's kind of like not cool. And
Yeah,
I just
People
feel like
use people for things in general.
Yeah, the users. You feel that
The
energy,
users.
especially once you heal from that shit. You feel like you feel when you're
Absolutely.
around someone who's like a user or desperate or like needing something from you that way. It's like after you keep growing and elevating and healing, that energy is just like, oof, yeah, you feel it from a mile away. I'm
Yeah.
good.
I'm good on that. How do you date? Like, how do you
I
meet
don't.
guys?
She doesn't. She's like,
I don't.
Look at her.
I hate like, I don't know. I don't want to say I hate dating, but it's just nowadays, like, I feel like this generation is so fucked up. Like,
It
it's
is.
just all about hookup culture and everything like that. And, I don't mind a little hookup here and there, but it's just, I want love. You know what I mean? Like, the world is just so full of, like, hatred and, like, negativity that it's just, like, some people, everybody needs a little love here and there. So
Yeah, love is amazing. I don't really believe in love anymore. Like,
yeah,
you know, I don't
It's,
really.
it's,
Yeah,
I'm getting there too. To be
Wait,
honest.
what? Hold up.
Yeah.
Hold
You're
up.
too
Hold
young.
up. Hold
No,
up.
but I'm genuinely I'm genuinely getting there because it just feels like it's not real. Like I just with the people that I've dealt with in my past, like it just feels like they either want something like that you have or they just like the idea of you.
exactly.
Right. But that's not love though. Now we're talking about something totally different or looking at like love as an emotion versus love as an action verb. Love is the act of doing something for another human being. So love is not something where it's like, oh God, if they love me, they wouldn't do this, or if they love me, they would behave better. No, everybody's got their trauma, everyone's got their problems. Love is an action. So even if you were involved with a fucked up relationship, oh, can we swear? Even if you were involved in like a awful relationship or a terrible narcissist or whatever, if you engaged in the act of love, great. That's I did this for this person or I did this for me. I engaged in the act of love for myself. And then the level of love that we give ourselves is typically what will allow in or spot in others too. So that took me a long time.
So so we had a guest on last week. I think it was last week. Shout out to Shaka Smith. He
That's a dope
put
name.
something together in a beautiful sentence, and he was like, "A real relationship is the continued affirmation of presence."
Yeah.
Right.
Oh,
and
that's
and the verb side of what you're talking about, right? And I think that we didn't touch base enough on the fact that whatever energy you're putting out is the energy you're getting back in, right?
Yes.
And I thoroughly believe in that.
But how often do you get back the energy you're giving?
I
Like a
no,
lot of
I-
times you can be
Oh,
into
that you
somebody.
think you're giving.
And then-
Yeah,
Wait,
that you think you're
giving.
Your subconscious mind is way more powerful than your conscious. So if you think, yo, I'm out here, I'm doing the most and I'm doing this, underneath your limiting beliefs, your subconscious, your wounds, your childhood wounds might actually still be feeling like I'm not worthy. I'm not good enough. I always date toxic people. Everything's fucked. Everything's always 2 steps forwards, 1 step back. It's about what's going on in your programming. So everything is a mirror. So once you identify what's my pattern, then you're going to see your mirror. Then all it does, it's amazing. It's like fucking life becomes a puzzle. So what happens is right in front of you, you go, okay, there's a pattern in front of me. I keep getting these types of people. I'm trying to give. Okay, are you overgiving, which means you have no boundaries? Are you giving because you're expecting something in return? Great, that's called building a contract, which means that we're not just giving just to give. So we're expecting something, which means you're going to attract someone who also is just wanting to take and wanting to do the same vibe. So it's about the subconscious mind, not the conscious mind of like, well, I did this or I said this, so I should be getting this. And it's like, yeah, but are you dating your mother over and over again? Are you dating your father over and over again? Because if you're seeing this, then it's amazing. It means that there's a wound that still deserves to be healed or a childhood wound that's still kind of crying out. And once you pay attention to that, nurture that, meet your own need first, that core need, then what winds up happening is boom, you wind up unblocking and unlocking in your career and in your life and in every area.
Preach.
Everything is a fucking
Damn.
mirror. I love it. Woo!
Can I call you out on something out real quick? Okay, because I know you just got out of a situationship.
A little while ago, yeah.
Okay, so just to put it out there, and you don't have to talk about it if you don't want to, but like what, since we're talking about it,
Situationships. I fucking hate that word.
yeah, but that's what that's kind of what it was,
It's
right?
what it was, yeah.
What kind of energy were you unconsciously putting out there that might have created that opportunity?
Oh fuck.
Yes! Let's get in it.
That's a very interesting question to ask. I feel like I wanted to put out the love and stuff, but I was scared. I didn't want to let down my walls and then him just completely ruin me all over again. I didn't want to go through that. And I also have this subconscious in my mind that every man cheats.
They do.
So
I think they do, unless they can't.
That's
'Cause
such
my
bullshit.
father-
You said that last week too.
Because my father cheated. So and I learned this at a very young age. So growing up, I just always had that in my mind. Damn, if my dad could do this, to my mom while she was pregnant with me, then anybody can do it, and anybody will do it.
I feel like most men cheat, especially desirable men. I feel like you can't really find a good man who doesn't cheat, unless, like I said, they can't get pussy, and then they're not cheating on you. But if they're a man who have their shit together, have money, or somewhat okay looking, there's not a lot of men out there on the market that are desirable. So those type of men, I feel like they get a lot of women and they have a lot of temptation. It's hard for them to not go for it. Like, you know, because they say that men, like, they physically need to release, right? Like, they get hard in the morning and they need to fuck. As women, they like emotional, like their sex is more emotional. So I feel like fucking for men is like more of a sport, and it's hard for them to say no.
Wow, that makes so much sense.
And also, if you're older, right? If you're an older woman, right? If let's say I'm dating somebody right now, I'm in my 30s, and I have a husband, a boyfriend, or whatever, and he's like 42. He's good. He has a good job. He makes good money. He has a nice car, whatever. He goes to the gym. If at the gym some hot girl like her, you know what I mean, or some model comes up to him and she's like, "Hey, are you single?" You know, like I think you're really
we dehumanize men by doing that.
I think you're really good looking and whatever. I don't think he's gonna be like, I'm married. You know what I mean? He's gonna be like, oh, let's exchange Instagrams and you know, da 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 da. You know, he might entertain it, especially if he sees the girl often. He's looking at her. She's young. The bitch he got at home is a little older. She's not as cute anymore. You know what I mean? Like, they want to play. They're men. They want to have fun. They want to play. I don't think they can be like, I'm a God-loving man who's just like looking at my woman. I think they want a variety. And all men say this. I see men on podcasts saying like they want a variety. Mm-hmm. They don't want steak all the time. They want salmon. They want hamburgers. They want whatever the fuck. They want to have fun too.
I feel like that's men who don't have self-discipline.
There you go.
Yeah, but a lot of these men do have self-discipline. They work out, but they still say that they want to have multiple women.
Working out is not a self-discipline. Just so we're clear on this one, there's toxic men and there's toxic women. I hate the term toxic masculinity because there's also, let's be honest, toxic femininity.
For sure.
These are lies that we were told as kids that men just want to fuck, men just have to do it. And what we're doing is we're programming men and women as women. We do this too, and it's not okay. We actually, when we do that to men, we're confirming a confirmation bias that a lot of men, especially the men that I coach, don't even want. Like, they're like, yo, I have so many clients that are like, I don't want to fuck a bunch of girls. What's happening is that men.
Where are those clients?
Dude, they're everywhere. I coach men all over the world.
I want to piggyback off of this for a second, right? If you are in a locker room with locker room talk and you're with a bunch of athletes, right? Mm-hmm. And everyone's just...
Athletes are the worst.
Not just athletes, but like I'm talking about...
Yes,
like,
they are.
I'm talking about what you would consider guys who are in shape that are just like getting tail all the time, right? Yeah. If they... Because, you know, guys share this in the locker room and I might get slayed just for like bringing this up.
We go talk some locker room talk. But I know some locker room talk too. So but the real shit too.
Some of the guys will complain, right? If they come out of a situation where they were with a hot chick and they didn't last long, they know she was faking an orgasm, or they weren't able to please her, that is a huge bruise to the ego, right? And
First
we
of all,
will make fun of that guy.
That athletes think that they can't please a girl. They're not even worried about pleasing the girl. They're worried about themselves.
There are some guys who don't care about it, and those are the same guys that if you go around and cheat.
Have you dated an athlete? They're horrible.
No, I think, hold on. I think we can go with like, there's unhealed men and then there's unhealed women, and they exist in all areas.
And they attract each other.
Yes, and unhealed attracts unhealed. Yeah. So the more that you can heal your shit, the more that you're going to get around people who are also healed.
Yeah, because if you meet a decent guy.
Where are you meeting these healed people?
At a yoga retreat? No. I'm a little more of an adrenaline junkie, so I'll meet if you want to find the ones that vibe with the way that you're vibing, then it's like more about what hobbies you're doing and the things that you love doing, and when you're kind of cultivating that joy and doing that shit that you love, then you'll be around the same type of vibe. But I mean, dude, yeah, there's unhealed athletes, and then there's a bunch of athletes that even I've coached that are like dope ass men. There's a lot of men that are like, so cheating has nothing to do with gender. Cheating has to do with anyone who hates themselves. That's usually why someone cheats. They fucking hate themselves. And whenever they get with someone like a beautiful woman, what happens is they project their insecurities on that woman. They actually feel massively inadequate for that woman.
Yeah.
So if you're getting cheated on, chances are what's happening is that man picked you because he hated himself, but he saw you. And he was like, fuck, this woman's so beautiful. If I get with her, my boys are going to finally love me. I'm going to finally fit in with my bros. I'm going to feel great because look at what I've got. And then what happens is they get you and the dopamine drops and they're stuck staring at themselves in the mirror, not understanding that it's an internal job, and the voices in your head go. And you start like your skin fucking crawls. And the things that you were hiding from finally come out. I'm not good enough. I'm a piece of shit. I'm, whatever. And I need validation. I need to feel better about myself. And they didn't learn that it's an internal job. So what they do is they seek external validation.
That sounds good, but have you seen a dog? No, I'm just saying, like when a dog when a dog is not fixed, they'll fuck anything.
Yeah.
And I
Anything
feel
and
like
everything,
as
yeah.
women, we can say men this or men, healed and blah, blah, blah. We don't know what it's like to wake up with a hard dick. And I don't think we can really speak on what we don't like. We'll never know what it's like to have your dick hard and you need to fucking release that shit. So it's like if you go, let's say you go to a strip club with your friends, right? And you have these strippers on you and then you're just like, oh, shit, my shit's hard, right? And then the bitch is like touching you or like down to suck your dick. It's gonna be really hard for you to say no, whether you're healed or not. You know what I mean? So maybe.
Wait, hold on. We gotta walk this back. Why are you? I mean, you're at the strip club and your dick is hard. You're putting yourself in that position anyway.
Go to strip clubs, but men say
women go to strip clubs too,
right?
Not my man.
Yeah,
but I'm there too.
Right?
How many times a day does a guy's dick get hard?
Well, wait, that's blood flow though. I actually had a boyfriend once that like every time he had his dick hard, I was like, "Yo, let's fuck," because I was like, "I'm down."
Yeah, but are you around every time? No.
Yeah, I love my man. I love his dick. I was aroused every time.
No,
but what happened was this. He actually looked at me and he goes, "Natalie, this is just blood flow. I don't need to have sex every time I get hard. Like I don't want to."
With him?
He had other issues. That wasn't it.
But even then,
faithfulness wasn't
that's
it.
a contract you engage in a relationship,
Exactly.
right? If you're in a healthy relationship, you're like, hey, look, before 4 p.m. it's carnal, right?
Right.
Whenever it's going to happen,
Yeah.
right? When in the morning for lunch,
Pops up.
Maybe we have a little afternoon delight or whatever. Afterwards, we can go for the emotional stuff.
Yeah.
Right? We'll engage in like an intimate dinner, blah, blah, blah. But that's when you're in a relationship. That's what like the contracting is supposed to be about, right? Is that
But I also feel like
out.
after being with a man for like a year and a half, 2 years, the sex kind of dies down.
So you had a little light slapping.
Yeah.
And you reignite
Right?
some stuff.
There you go. Get some kink in there. Throw some shit in. No, that is true. You do like after a while, like that shit, like
so then that's when they're like, all right, I'm
No,
bored. I want to fuck.
No, but
I
then
want
we
to
would
fuck. I want to get.
think-
well,
like
maybe
that would
the
come-
men you're dating with
I
the
feel like
solution.
that would have to come to a mutual agreement, though. Like if the sex is dying down,
Nobody's
You
gonna
guys would
say
have
anything
to-
about it. I don't
What?
think anyone's
But
gonna
you
say.
have
anything.
to.
But that's where when you're dating,
And
our
also,
job
when you
dating is
have
to find a
kids-
partner.
But when you have kids too, like you throw kids into that, you're like busy with the kids.
Yeah.
You don't really have time. So the man's like trying to run out of the house because every time he comes home, it's like chaotic. You know what I mean? And he wants something else.
Unless you actually found a solid partner, someone who's going to be a leader and a man who goes, hey, let me hire someone, or you've got this, I'll do the laundry. Friday nights, you're
Where
mine.
are these
I've
guys?
actually seen that. I've actually seen it, and that's the
Yeah.
only thing that actually like gives me faith that there are still good men in this world.
Yeah.
And that there are men who were raised well by and around women that
They're not in
know
LA.
Women. Oh,
They're all over the place.
No, they're
It's
not.
not only is it a conversation, right?
I would definitely agree that LA is mostly
I feel half the men in LA are gay, especially the good-looking ones. No, they are.
It is true though.
LA
It is true.
has
You're not
LA
wrong.
has a hodgepodge of different things. We'll say that.
A lot of
We're talking
DLs.
between like the 405, the 101,
Yeah.
and like Vermont Avenue,
They're
right?
all over
because
the
LA's
fucking place.
really big.
LA's huge
They're all
because
over
then
the
if
place.
you have the
LA is
valley,
fucking huge.
yeah, the
Well,
valley.
stay
would be
away from
like,
the valley.
Yeah,
Anything
that's-
past that 405 side is
kind of. You'll find them up there though.
There are some great men, but I do feel. Oh wow, my live access got removed.
because
What?
they're cursing.
No, it says sexually suggestive content.
Oops.
Aw.
Whatever.
Oh
It's
shoot!
okay.
TikTok live just
Damn.
slammed
Well,
on us.
but that'll only be like temporary,
It'll
right?
only be for like a day or something.
Oh,
Maybe
okay.
10 minutes.
It was the
Yeah.
it was the slapping comment.
I got banned on
Oh, maybe.
Instagram for saying I posted something that said I have two moods. Number one, namaste. Number two, I'll cut you. And like apparently that is can't do. And I'll take responsibility for that one. I'm like, all right, I get it. Maybe that sounds. I don't know. I'm like, have you met anyone from the Northeast?
Right. No, they haven't.
Yeah.
It's not for us. They don't like our
Mm.
aggressiveness. They don't get our humor. They take it very seriously.
Thank you. I actually like wrote them and said, I was like, hey, I would really implore you guys to start learning like metaphors, similes, and other culture references.
No, but then
'cause-
there's like the crazy fucking whatever the goth people that actually mean it, so they can't
Oh, that's true.
the emos.
But they're usually like, I'll cut myself.
Yeah, they'll cut themselves or shoot up a school, but we don't know.
That's true. I will say dark humor style. One of the best things that gets me out of like a dark spell is like there's back in the day. I don't know if you guys remember Mad TV.
Of course.
Yeah. Oh God, so good. You'll love it.
Mad TV is
yeah.
that with that one like Chucky looking guy kind of?
There's a whole group. It's almost like
the
SNL.
magazine, Mad TV.
Yeah,
Yeah,
the magazine, yeah.
Mad
Yeah.
Magazine.
Yes. Yeah. So there was a skit on there called Tickle Me Emo, where like it was
They would
Elmo
say-
but emo,
Oh
and the
my
kid
God.
was like the Elmo was like, I cut myself to feel, and the kid
Oh
like
my
throws
God.
it and is like, you're not the only one with emotions. For some reason, that's the one for me.
I was
Can't make
thinking
it
about
like that
people who
anymore.
cut
I know.
themselves. Those are the people who hold everything in, the fake nice people, and then they go home and slice their wrist.
Oh yeah,
Those are the scary people. You got to be careful for those people.
yeah. Although they're usually like more
That's so sad.
internally, yeah. The ones that like don't. That's the ones like there's a few people I've met over my life where I'm like, yo, I gotta be careful talking to you. You can do some shit.
Right? If you could cut yourself, what else can you cut? Or
A
who
steak.
who else can you cut? I don't know. I'm not really into that. But where do you meet men?
I've done dating apps.
Mhm.
And then
Are
a
you in a
lot of times
relationship?
I got out of one in January, and that was like 7 months. Then I've been like a 5-year relationship. So yeah, actually I had to do a lot of internal work, like a lot of fucking shit.
A lot of therapy.
Oh hell yeah. Or a lot of like I've done different types of modalities, and a lot of limiting belief work is my favorite. Like I do NLP now. Like
What's
I'm an
NLP.
Natural language processing.
neuro-linguistic process. Yeah. So it's like Tony Robbins style.
Mm.
So that's what I coach on is like that, like basically what's going on in your subconscious mind. And you'll hear it as like we kind of reveal things. So by the way, when you're dating someone, when you're asking certain questions, people reveal everything, even on the first date. You're dating based on their limiting beliefs, because whatever our limiting beliefs are is kind of what we're going to project later. Basically this, you can only meet someone at the level that they've met themselves. So if you're dating someone and you're hearing them, be disrespectful or hate themselves, or they're constantly putting themselves down, that's usually an indicator that like if you're loving and ready, it's not going to be the right vibe, because they're not going to be able to receive that love because they don't love themselves. So it's not in their body. So I had to do a lot of work because I'm a big fixer. So I dated a lot of like takers. Like I've dated some sociopaths, psychopaths, like actual.
Fuck.
Oh yeah.
Sounds like a
But
blast.
what if they're
Oh,
the
so much
complete-
fun. Yo, I had a blast. We did some weird thing. I loved it. It was great. Whatever. I took what I could. Healed.
I'm dead. What if they're the complete opposite though? Like they're very like full of themselves, super cocky.
Usually even underneath that is insecurity.
It's insecurity.
Yeah,
It's mad insecurity.
Right? Yeah.
Thank you.
You get that later on. Oh yeah. Anyone who's coming off is like, yo, I'm the shit.
Yeah.
You need to get fucking know me, and like I'm this and I'm that. It's like
Yeah.
underneath is like a severe mommy wound, daddy left, and
Yes.
I'm secretly codependent as fuck.
Wow,
Absolutely.
that was really spot on.
I've been doing this for a minute.
Was that the guy? Oops.
For real though. But the reason why we tracked that in, because I used to do a lot of situationships, was because I was so terrified that if I spoke up or had boundaries, I would be abandoned. So I had to heal my abandonment
Oh my
wound.
god, that was literally me.
Can I bring up your fear of rejection?
Sure.
Yeah, because that's something we talk about a lot. It's
Yeah,
like this
I have the
idea.
same one. Yeah,
I mean, to me, right, and obviously I'm coming from a really different perspective,
yeah,
but it's like rejection's gonna happen.
yeah.
Right. And it happens a lot. I mean, for some of us, it happens more than others. Right. But it's like at some point you kind of got to just get over that. Right. Like rejection can only be so painful for so long. It's a mindset. Right.
Yeah.
It's a mindset.
Yeah.
It is a mindset.
I mean, I don't have fear of rejection like in dating. I just don't like rejection in general. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
in
It
any
does
way.
something.
But I just find it hard to just meet men. Personally, I feel like a lot has changed in the past like 10 years, and it's just like I feel like we don't have the same
You're so
kind,
closed off. How are you
kind
gonna
of
meet
men
anybody?
that we used to have. You know what I mean? Like the men who like fill your gas tank or like fucking, you know what I mean? Put oil in your car and like clean your car while you're sleeping, and then you wake up in the morning and like you have a full tank of gas, your car is clean. You're like, what the fuck happened? He might have like packed you lunch, and you're like, those men that I grew up with in Brooklyn, like I don't feel like we have those men anymore.
We
Like
still got them. We still got them. I will say in LA, yes, it might be. We gotta, depending on where that man goes, you might go there. But we still got them.
I think we got them. I think they just come from other
I don't know where they
Like-
come from. I also feel like I don't think I'll ever love again. Like I don't think I can ever like allow myself to like love somebody like I used to when I was in my 20s, because I feel like when you're in your 20s, like love is like this feeling that's like so
I feel like the nature of love
addicting
changes
and-
though. As
There
you
we
get
go.
older.
That because in our 20s, because I relate a lot. You and I spoke before this, right?
yeah.
Yo, the love that I was doing in my 20s was not love. It was obsession. It was fear and it was insecurity,
But it
and I
was
had a
also
fuck ton of
fun,
trauma.
but
Yeah,
it's
but it was
fun.
right.
It's
Yo,
mad fun.
at least we had fun doing it.
Yeah.
With that, it was fun.
It was fun.
But I don't feel like it's gonna be as fun anymore. Like, how does it even work? Like, okay, I'm gonna meet some guy right now, right? I'm gonna go out to dinner or whatever, right?
Mhm.
How does it even work? Like, what do I even say to you? Like, how do I even get past? Like, how do I get to know you?
Here's the thing though, for you, it's like right now with when you're still healing from something else and we're still healing from the shit that hurt us, we have to learn in ourselves. And women, we have to do this too, even though women more so have and different cultures, different genders, different nationalities will have more limiting beliefs and more trauma that we do have to overcome. So women is like, yes, there's been some fucked up shit that's happened to us. Other, you have the Black community, Latin community, everyone's got extra shit that gets tacked on. So as women, we still have to heal from that. Even though what happened to us wasn't our fault, our healing is our responsibility. That way, when we do step out of the house, you're not accidentally telling your brain to spot the trauma guys again. Because if we're guarded, what's going to happen is you are only going to walk towards someone who is also guarded or someone who will cause you to have even more of a guard. So it sucks, and I hate this part, but it requires us to go in and feel safe within ourselves and safe to actually open up again. And then I'm ready. Because then that way, when I'm dating, there's boundaries. And when I feel that vibe that someone's like cold or removed, or I feel the need to prove myself to them, I feel my childhood wounds get triggered. It's a no for me, dog. Like I'm out, or I'm going to eat my steak and call it a day.
Right.
So that's why, is because if I'm guarded going in, then what's happening is that my amygdala's in charge. My fight, flight, fawn, and freeze. I'm not fully present. My intuition isn't involved.
Do you know what I want to know? I know you said you coach men mostly, but
I coach women too. Yeah.
let's say women that are in their 30s, right?
Yeah.
That have some type of success, right? So like, let's say a woman in her 30s, she has her shit together. How the fuck does she meet an equal?
Dude, I
because-
think.
Because
Yeah.
I feel like the guys that she would want, or let's say equal, make as much money as her at least, right?
Yeah.
And can match her. I feel like they don't really want women in their 30s. They'd rather just find a chick who's like 26 or 27 or 25, and date her.
Only an unhealed dude. So for instance,
Who the fuck is really healed? Like
as
I
long
mean,
as you're
really
starting to
where-
do the work,
It's a
you're
process.
okay. Yeah.
how long is this process?
Doesn't take that
Forever.
long.
Whole life, your
Exactly,
whole
so
life.
what the
30,
fuck-
90 days. 90 days.
No, I'm talking about
Or
in
less.
general.
Oh,
Like,
in general, yeah.
life
In
is
general,
always
life.
a learning
Life's in
process.
session.
Always.
So the main thing that I've said this to clients is our job isn't to find the perfect person or like be healed and be like, you can't make mistakes. Fuck that. Life is about mistakes. What we do is we find the people that we are safe to make mistakes with. So,
yeah, but what I'm saying is how
with the
does
women
a
in the
woman,
30s.
How does a woman in her 30s
Yes.
who has her shit together find a man who is equal to her?
I think honestly, a woman in her 30s who's actually done the shit and like has her shit together, dude, I feel like you level up. Like the people that you're around, you're either gonna open your eyes and realize that there's other men around you who are like, yo, ma, I see you, I got you. Or you're gonna keep turning to the douchebags. And I'm sorry, I hate to say it, but you got fuck girls and fuck boys too. But you're either gonna keep turning toward the douchebags to create a confirmation bias and go, see, look at this. I saw it again. Or you could just go like this, like, God damn, that's a man right there.
But how do you get attracted to a man who's, let's say, healed? Most of these
Yeah.
men are not really what you're physically attracted to. Like, let's say, like the good dudes or whatever. Like, I'm not gonna get sexually or like aroused for these guys. So how do I? Even let's say I know
So
that.
healed dudes are all
worlds.
ugly.
No, I'm saying that.
Yo,
People-
that's the thing.
dudes who are
No,
willing to heal.
I'm
Dudes who are
saying that
willing to
there's
heal.
a small pool of these people. They're not like at large. You know what I mean? And it's like, okay, so these good guys, the bad guys have a certain type of if you were attracted to a certain type of guy,
Yeah.
it's hard to now switch over, even though you know they're garbage. It's hard to now switch over to the better guy because you're not sexually attracted to that guy per se.
Yes. You have a point. You
Yes.
actually have a huge point. Yes, because look, I'll say it this way, and I heard someone else post it, so I'm okay with sharing it. After you get through trauma and you've been through like narcissistic abuse, or you're someone that, like, I know for me personally too, has been through abusive relationships. I used to masturbate to my abusers for a minute. I still did it.
Is that a kink?
Yeah, because what happens is it's familiar, and like you sometimes when there's something inside of you that still feels like you're a piece of shit, like someone coming in treating you like a piece of shit, you're like, oh fuck, it's familiar. So
yeah, but I don't like it.
No,
like I don't like.
That doesn't mean that we
treated
like it.
that, you know
No,
what I mean?
but it's something that's familiar. So to answer your question on where you find it and how attraction is an internal thing. So once you like heal that and you kind of switch the dial inside of you, what winds up happening is the bad boy. What winds up happening is like, as you heal that and you go, yo, I'm done with this. I have a boundary here. No more people who treat me or others like shit. I'm done. What winds up happening is you start to slowly become attracted and you see the men that are like actual dominance. Like the ones that are like
Where do you see them?
everywhere.
But I have to call you out a little bit, right? You have. I'm by no means am I in a position to say anything really, but
We all have our
you-
shit. I still work
like,
on mine.
You have your you have a sect of your shit together as a successful person,
Mm-hmm.
right? Like as a single mom running several businesses, you have this little this ball is your shit together.
Mm-hmm.
There are several like other elements in which like it's not even on the radar. So like
What are
how
you saying that I'm fucked up?
I'm like
Yo, we're all fucked up in some way.
I mean, so
I'm,
Yeah, she goes south,
the second you start like addressing some of those things, I think the men that you're looking for are gonna pop right into your
Yo,
life.
they've been around you the whole time. I do this all the time. So we have our brain is designed to just keep us safe by keeping us right. So whatever you believe, you're gonna walk towards. So basically the strong way that you feel in your career, start to learn the way that you feel there, that confidence, that like your intuition is open, your body language is open, you're there, you're present. Start to learn how to take that and put that into your dating life. But yeah, it's honestly it's mostly in healing, changing your internal structure, and then what you get attracted to changes. And then hobbies. Do the shit that brings you joy for no reason. Sometimes I will say too, I don't know if you feel this way, but or I don't know if you've had this too. I love work. Yo, I love working. I love staying in. I love working. I love filmmaking. I love just kind of doing that. So sometimes I have to force myself to like just have fuckery joy for no reason. Because then that's when
I feel the same way.
Yeah.
I like to work. I enjoy working, but I don't know. That's it. That's what, and I've actually accepted that. I said to myself, like, if I have to be single forever, as long as I have money, like, I don't really care.
I'll bring up something that you say often, right? Because
Mm-hmm.
I think it's a mindset, right? And if you have, we were talking about NLP, right? You were talking about how high value men won't find a single mother in her 30s attractive, right? So immediately you already have like this mindset of like, it's just not going to happen because men are not going to find that attractive, right? But you said something the other day, and I even told you, I messaged you back. You said something about business. You were talking about how you were handling shit or blah, blah, blah. And I was like, how do you not find that sexy about yourself? Like that one sentence was so empowering, so attractive. And if you like just
But depends to
live
who.
that life
That's-
saying that sentence over and
there's
over
a lot
again,
of men that find that shit sexy as fuck.
Yeah, but I don't want those men. Like I want a man who's gonna take care of me. I don't
That's
want
what I'm
a man
saying.
who's
It's those. There are those men. You have to challenge that thought process because what's happening is that you're only going to get around the men that confirm that like these men I don't want. The ones that want me, I don't want. So which means that you're missing all of the other ones all around you that are like all the dudes probably watching this right now are going like, me, I'm attractive. I love myself. I got my shit together. And I'm like, they would look at you and be like,
she'd
yo.
look at their profile pictures and go, no.
That's not
Right.
true.
Nah.
I don't even want. I told you I don't want a super attractive
anymore.
man. Yeah, not
No,
anymore.
I mean, but like someone that you're attracted to
Yeah.
sexually and all that. Yo, it exists. I swear on this one, it exists. I've been playing with this shit for a long time and coaching that on with men. I even it's kind of fun too. Like I'll have men check what their mindset is at and what their limiting beliefs are. And so I'll tell them, if it's shit thinking, put the phone down, because what's going to happen is you're going to swipe based on shit thinking. So if you're lonely, insecure, feeling like you need validation, what happens is when you go on, you're putting on broken lenses.
But do you
and
even
swipe
think
wrong.
dating apps are healthy? Like, I don't
I've
feel
never
like
been on
it's.
a dating app.
I feel like they're
I don't
not
know.
really a healthy. How
I've
do you
never
really?
downloaded
There's so
dating
much.
app.
It's like a catalog of people. How
Yeah.
could you really like emotionally connect?
You can't.
It's kind of hard. It's,
Well, or like you can't tell you have chemistry yet until you
are you
actually
on any
meet
dating
someone.
apps?
I'm
A
not.
lot of the people that I know that are on dating apps just use it for sex.
Yeah.
Really?
They
Exactly.
just use it for hookups. Yeah.
What dating app?
Like Hinge and shit.
Oh,
I'm
yeah.
a slow burn. Like, you don't find me attractive on first meeting, and like I've always been aware of that. It's like communication through several series of conversations.
But you're
then you
celibate,
finally,
right?
yeah, right now I am.
Yeah.
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 And then it's after the conversations you go, oh, I can fuck with this guy.
You're
Let's
like,
go
oh,
on a
there's
date.
something
But
about
how
him.
do you meet women? Or are you not looking for a woman?
No, I mean, I meet anybody, like I'm not shut off to the opportunity, right? If someone comes into my life, and this is like, guys talk about the friend zone all the time, right? Like, oh, the friend zone sucks. For me, I'm comfortable in the friend zone. I live very comfortably in the friend zone because that's where the communication's going to happen. That's where you're really going to find out who a person is. And like,
Mhm.
if one of those people, because also women have that barrier too. It's like, once you're in the friend zone, you'll never get out of it. Well, fuck, I
Well,
don't want to
that's
be out of the friend zone with you
yeah.
either. If that's your mindset, I'm not fucking with you,
Yeah.
right? It's this journey of getting to know each other and getting to the other side of the hump where you finally learn enough about a person that you go, oh, this is interesting. Because I fucked around, right? Like a lot. And because I was a successful teenager, I was on Lizzie McGuire, Disney Channel, Nickelodeon. I had money. I was the first one to have a car. You know, I was in shape. I was fit. I had freedom. Right? I had my own little apartment in the back. Like I had the world was my oyster. So I took advantage of it fully. And from 13 to I would say 21, I was just out there doing everything and anything possible. Right. So I got to have a lot of my fun, and I learned through that process. And a lot of guys, of course, would make fun of me. Some guys in my inner circle would too as well. But I really quickly became aware of like the emptiness of not having that connection with a person. And that to me is like, I would rather spend all this time sorting through myself. First of all, I have a lot of work to do on myself, right? We've talked about in
Yeah,
earlier
but
episodes.
I'm saying you could work on yourself forever. So it's like,
Well, no, I know
yeah,
there's a point. Like
you don't
for me, I know there's like, I have milestones, right? I've obviously been sober for enough years where I can go, my sobriety's intact enough that I can now date, right? That milestone hit year 3, year 5. I'm solid with my sobriety. Nothing's going to affect that, right? I'm working on myself, my weight, right? I've lost 60 pounds. So it's like, okay, I'm working on this milestone. Once I get to the next milestone, I will be physically comfortable with myself that I'm going to be ready to go back out there. And if it happens, great. But I'm not going to go into like these relationships or these rooms where I'm like going for it or like trying to make it happen because I've already tried trying to make pieces fit that don't work. Right.
I just feel like for me, like I have a lot of male friends. It would be hard for us to get out of the friend zone. Once I'm friends with you, it's like I want a man who's like, you know what I mean? Like roar, like just like
A man.
go for it, you know? So
Yeah.
now once I like friend zone you and it's like, I don't know how we're going to get like in a sexual, like, you know what I mean? Like I don't.
Unless someone changes, you know, sometimes that happens. Like
It's
I feel
a
like guys
switch.
it's a switch. Like let's say for instance, like two people meet and it's just the vibe's not right or something. But then all of a sudden, you know, like women, we always do. I feel like women do it the best. You know, on this where it's like you go away for a week or like a month and all of a sudden you come back and it's like, damn, you've leveled up. You got your shit together. Your hair's done right. You did your shit. And it's like,
Glow up.
yeah, your glow up. The cool thing is in order to keep the glow up is that internal shift. But it's like, you know this when like when you started doing your own businesses and having your own company, when you started to like level up, you're like, yo, I got my shit together. I got my car, I got my apartment, I got my house, I got my this, I'm good. And it's like you move differently and people take notice. So
That switch, it goes from like, you're in the kitchen leaning against the counter as friends.
yeah.
The switch goes
There's a
off,
switch.
and then it goes. You're from leaning down the counter to picking you up onto the counter,
Yeah.
right? But that is a
in
switch.
the movies. In
In
the
the
No,
movies.
it happens in real life all the time.
I don't know.
Yeah, and
Although it depends.
all the time.
Although if you do have a friend where you're like, yo, that's my dude, and you switch it off permanently, you can do that too.
I feel
or
like
vice
if
versa.
for the men, they would take it there if you pursued it. But I don't think
Yeah.
like most women who have guy friends, I don't think they're like, oh, you know what? there's a switch now. I like you now.
I've
For the
gotten
men,
rejected by a guy.
I feel like they always kind of leave that door open. But I think for the women, it's like we want a man to pursue us.
Yeah. I
You
mean,
know what I
I've gone after the emotionally unavailable ones for a long time. So that was like my milestone too, was I had to take a hard look at why I was going after narcissists or people who were emotionally unavailable. And that like first was my sobriety, did the same thing. And then next was like I hit a bottom where like I finally realized that I was going after like narcissists. And then finally this year I was like, what happens is I start to get really nervous because I'm getting successful, and that would scare me because I'm not used to that. And then all of a sudden in comes a narcissist and I get attached, and then my career goes under. So I was having
a lot of men are just narcissists.
Oh, girl. I'll say this. I grew up where I witnessed a lot more. I also have abuse with women. So I've seen both. It's different in us. It resides differently in us, but a woman can eviscerate people.
Sebastian thinks I'm a narcissist. He told me.
Like if you know you're solid within yourself and you know you're a star, you shouldn't have no problem.
But people are insecure for sure.
So then you're not a star if you're insecure.
Well, hold on.
That's true.
Yeah, yes and no on that one. I think you can still be insecure with it. I think it's awareness. I think that if you have two people who are both aware, because think about it this way. Why do we want to become a star? Why do we want to be in the limelight? Is it because we felt insignificant as a kid, or someone else kept taking the limelight? Whatever the fuck it is. Once you become more aware of your why, when you feel it in you, like let's say for instance, I could use myself as an example on this one. I have some friends right now that are taking off, or I've dated some people that are wildly successful. I will feel a ping of envy because, and I want that too. And there's a part of me that's the reason why, though, once I find my why.
It's not to them. It's just how you feel.
Exactly. So most of us, when we feel a certain type of way, we always blame the person or project our wounds on our partner by accident. So in a partnership, when you guys know that both of you guys might be projecting wounds and you guys are a team and you actually meet like a teammate, what winds up happening is that if you know that, like for me, my wound comes in because I feel like I'm inadequate sometimes and I feel like I'm not where I want to be. And I finally needed to grieve because I was a drug addict for a long time and an alcoholic for a long time, and also dating narcissists and sociopaths. It took me off my purpose. And now it also showed me my purpose because I get to help other people through it. So I do see that.
And you get wiser and you get to relate to more people who have been through the same thing, as opposed to if you didn't go through that, you wouldn't be able to understand what they went through. That's how I feel with my trauma. Like, a lot of times I'd be like, oh, why didn't you just leave? Or blah, blah, blah. But now I know when I was in it, like, fuck, this shit is hard. And like, you need support. And I need to like have empathy for you. I need to love you. And no matter if you go back and like, I'll be here for you, because women need to know that they have somebody, you know, even when they're fucking up and keep going back and forth. But
same with men. Men will get involved in narcissistic relationships or bad relationships, and they feel so much shame because all of us will be like, why didn't you just leave?
It's hard to leave. It's hard to leave. It's hard to leave.
And I've been that where like I went back. So I do see the purpose now where it's like, you're right. And I bet you guys get this all the time too, which is like, if someone comes up to us, you can know when someone's blowing smoke up your ass or when they've actually been through something or not.
Sure.
You can tell in someone's eyes. So it's like, when you've been there, you can help other people through it too, if that's part of your journey or just healing. So I think when two people who have done the work on themselves, if they're both in the limelight, if they know why and why it's important to them. And like for me, for instance, like I'll feel a ping of envy when I recognize it first and I go, okay, I'm experiencing envy. Where's this coming from? Oh, because it's showing me that I'm next.
Who the fuck is talking to themselves like that though? You're a therapist, or right? But you can.
But I teach people how to do that.
But a normal person is not going to be like, this is envy.
But I'm a normal person.
But you have the tools or whatever. But are you sitting? Most people, are they sitting with them? Especially men. Are they sitting with themselves and asking themselves why?
It's intent. Once you develop the intent,
but
it
like
becomes second
Angelina
nature.
and Brad Pitt, right? They didn't work because they're both stars, and
it's not true at all.
I actually think that one of them was dealing with alcoholism.
Yeah, they were.
So that would have been unresolved trauma got with unresolved trauma. We all get with our mirrors.
I'm gonna broaden this to type A personalities, right? Not just star, but type A personalities.
Yeah, it's hard for two of them to be together.
I don't think so. It's once you have the conversation, it's about compromise, right? Of course, again,
And communication.
it's balance, right? There's not always going to be
That's
equality.
your teammate. That's your partner.
Both people are not always going to be on top. But this is where like the conversation with like IQ, EQ, AQ,
Yes.
right? Intelligence, emotional intelligence, and adaptability. Like when you're in this relationship as a type A personality and you have somebody, you want to be with somebody who else is also type A because they're going to be the only one that's going to relate to you. They're going to be the only one that can actually keep up with the kind of conversations you're having within your head, right? But it takes that emotional intelligence. It takes that adaptability to be like, oh, this week I've been taking a lot of the limelight. Hey, babe, let's give next week to you. Let me take some responsibilities off of your shoulders.
Type A's
so that we
aren't
can
going to
work.
say that to
Yeah,
each
that's
other.
exactly
But
what
no,
a type
they're
A is
not.
supposed to
A
do.
type A, a true dominant, is someone that, like, if you're needing the limelight out of insecurity, that's not an alpha.
Boom.
What do you mean?
So
No, I get it. They're not the alpha if they feel insecure. So
But
they're
you're-
but if they think they're a type A, it's like it's a
But that's
war.
what I'm
But that's
saying.
what you're saying. They
So-
think they're a type A.
exactly. So that's
they're not
different.
actually a
So
type A.
correct. If you actually have two dominants or two alphas would actually know because, okay, for instance, I'll say this. This is clickbait. I also do clickbait. I won't lie about it, but I learned about this a long time ago too. Alpha males came from this guy who wrote a book about wolves. Years later, after he wrote it, he studied wolves in captivity and he studied wolves that were taken from all over the world who didn't speak the same wolf language, essentially. And he started calling this alpha male or alphas in the wild. That went on like hotcakes. That blew up and everyone started going, oh, an alpha person is someone who's solo, who basically hates other people and who dominates aggressively. Incorrect. Later on, the guy knew what he did and he realized that he started studying alphas in the wild. And he found that an
With
alpha male
wolves.
actually finds his alpha female and they create their own alpha pack.
Yeah, with wolves though, it is the female who's the main alpha.
Yes. So an actual dominant is someone who's able to look and allow other people to shine because shining does not make them less of a human being.
true.
It makes them, in fact, if I'm around my people, I want all my people eating at that table. I want them all experiencing that fucking level of love inside of themselves.
That's true.
I want
That is true.
right?
Yeah, absolutely.
So there are men out there too. So it's like when we're together, we're in the limelight, baby, get it. Because
But
I
you
know I'm gonna
what
get
it-
mine
you know what
because
it is?
we're in
some,
this together.
Some men, I feel like they think they're alpha because of how they look, but
Yeah,
they're not
but
alpha.
they're not. Yeah.
You know what I mean? So it's,
and they listen to the
That was
freaking
my last situation.
Yeah. Exactly. Because
Yeah.
they listen to the clickbait that goes, oh, are you an alpha male? You got to have a Lamborghini. You got to treat women like shit. You got to do this. And most men are listening to that and even going, I hate this advice.
right.
But they don't know where to turn because sometimes when they turn to us women, we're also shaming them. So where are they going to go?
Right. Yeah, that is true. I don't think maybe I've dated like one real alpha who was like, all right, do your thing. But the last
Yeah.
guy I dated, he thinks he's alpha, but he's not.
I
he
mean,
just,
same.
he just
yeah.
looks like one, but he's
Yeah.
I
He
knew
looks
like
when
right?
he portrays it, right?
Yeah, he
Yeah.
looks like
yo,
one.
on TV, you could play one.
Yeah, you could play one, but you know who's the real alpha
When it
here.
comes
Yeah.
down
That's
to
what I
that
used to
shit,
say to him
yeah,
all the
exactly.
time too. I'd be like, you could act like that, but you know who really runs this shit, right?
But like
You're
a
right.
dope ass man too
Facts.
will know. Yeah, an actual
That's a great
alpha.
attitude.
Yeah, we'll know that it's like the more that my queen elevates, the more that the team elevates because we're doing this together.
Because you represent your man.
Yeah.
And so if they're trying to bring you down, then you really don't understand what the fuck we're doing over here.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, you don't get the point. Like, if you're bringing me down, you're bringing yourself down too. Like, you know?
Yeah.
That's,
So
I had the last guy I was with, it was like a lot of power struggle because he was very attractive, you know? And then people would come around, and even though I'm not like a model or whatever, but I'm interesting.
you're beautiful.
Thank you.
You're like, I stare at you, both of you guys a lot, but like you are
Aw.
seriously beautiful.
Thank you so
I hope
much.
that captures on camera because you are. You've got like a glow about you and everything.
Oh,
So
I appreciate that.
yeah.
But yeah, like people would come around and then they were like interested in me, you know, and they'd want to talk to me because like even though he was beautiful, he's kind of like boring, you know. So he
It
would
happens.
he would
Like
hate
that, huh?
he would hate that. He would fucking hate that, and he would like try to make people choose like, is it me? Are you friends with her? Or are you friends with me? You know what I mean? And
That's
it was
so weird.
and I would just like every time we
He
go out
was
together,
really jealous of
he
you.
was he's still jealous of me. Like
Yeah.
and I was like, and I made this video. I'm
Oh,
like,
that's
how are
weird.
you jealous of me? And you're all this. Like you have,
Yeah.
you're tall, you're good looking,
'Cause
you
they
have
don't-
muscles.
They're
You're,
insecure.
yeah, but it used to drive me crazy, and I would like dim my own light just so he can like go shine, go be the center of attention. I don't care, go away. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like because I couldn't handle his jealousy. Like that shit made me crazy. Like it's not my fault. I'm more
envy,
interesting than you.
yeah.
Like what can
Yeah.
I do?
Oh, that makes sense now why you're kind of like the right now I'm a shine and I can't allow other people to come in right now while I'm learning how to just shine and be me. I'm doing the same thing actually. I realized that I would get around a lot of men who would diminish my light, nitpick,
they
put
do.
me down.
I can't do it.
By the way, that works both ways. I hear so many guys, we all project, but I'll hear so many guys that will look at beautiful women and they'll automatically go, oh, I won't go up to her because now this is just insecure guys who are still working on themselves. They'll go, oh, I don't want to go up to her because every guy goes up to her. She probably like thinks of herself so highly. And I'm like, that girl, imagine how many people look at her and project that bullshit onto her. And don't think for a second that that's what she sees in the mirror. Beauty's in the eye of the beholder. And if she was told that she's a piece of shit her whole life, she ain't going to see beauty in the mirror.
Well, yeah, but if you're like truly beautiful, people tell you that every day.
You won't accept it though.
You didn't just a little while ago.
But you know
yeah.
it. But you know,
She
I
said
didn't.
You said a compliment. You said a compliment.
Yeah.
And you sat on it for like a millisecond before you brushed it off and like continue your sentence. Like you did not at all receive.
I mean,
That was a genuine compliment.
and I said thank you.
Yeah.
But you
She got it. I've seen worse. I've seen worse.
Maybe.
I don't.
Yeah.
I
I've
don't
done
take,
worse.
Like compliments that well, but
I used to put myself down. If a woman came up to me and gave me a compliment, I would immediately go, oh God, this took me 9 hours. I was with women, or I would have women that like, I would be around a lot of insecure women too. And there'd be women that like belittled me or put me down, or they would come up to me and say, you look like the type of girl who would cheat on my boyfriend, or you look like the type of girl that would like take my husband. I was like, what? Like they're right? Or they'll compare their chest size to me, or they'll compare themselves to me. And I felt so uncomfortable in my own skin. So what I would start doing is, in order to make other people comfortable, I would
put yourself down.
Yep.
I don't think I put myself down, but
no, but that was
You definitely
me.
don't.
Yeah, I did that because I didn't see beauty in me. I didn't, and I didn't grow up hearing it when I was a kid, and so even if someone told me later on, I didn't believe them because what I thought is if you were calling me beautiful, you wanted something from me because all I knew was manipulation. I didn't know anything about.
Yeah, parents for sure need to reinforce in their daughters and telling them that they're beautiful every day. I didn't have that either.
Same, yeah.
So
now it does make us tough broads.
Yeah.
I will say I'm a bad bitch. You bad. Then we get to heal, and then I can be
in our sound baths. And,
We're coming up to the hour, so I want to kind of bring
how do you
this-
know?
Because I've been watching the time.
Oh, okay.
This has been amazing.
It has been, and there's been a lot of beauty at this table. There is a lot of light.
You
at
are
this
beautiful
table.
too.
Thank you very much. I appreciate.
You're very
that.
beautiful, and you have a beautiful soul.
Thank you.
Aw.
Yeah, it's taken a lot of work.
Same.
It took a lot to get here. Yeah, and that's actually not to say that I wasn't beautiful beforehand. Right, I had a lot of great energy even through my darkness. Like I had to recognize that. Even
I think he needs to hear it more.
Yo, I needed him to say that today because that's what I've been grappling with. Is I've been feeling really bad because I sometimes didn't always have the best energy, and hearing that, like I needed to hear that for sure. I didn't have the best energy too. I used to be desperate and all that kind of stuff.
Well, not desperate. I used to have like mean energy. Maybe I still do a little bit, but
You're working on
some
it.
people are saying like I have like I give off like don't approach me vibes.
Yeah, which is why I went and tried to get to know you. So I'm like,
You didn't went and try to get to know me. We started working together, and I forced you into the situation. I pulled you by your fucking. You didn't try to get to know shit.
It's all about
You still
perspective.
don't know me.
No.
My God.
We know there's a healthy distance, thank God.
Wait, so you were saying something beautiful?
Yeah, and she as
No,
per
we did.
usual.
I interrupted. It's a very northeastern thing.
So there is a lot of beauty at this table, and I really do appreciate everyone's energy. Normally, we end the podcast by talking about our red flags, like what red flags about people we like recognize in ourselves and what we don't like about others.
Okay.
So I do want to still talk about red flags that you find in yourself.
Okay.
But instead of talking about negativity, red flags we don't like in other people, I want let's see if we can think of like 3 qualities we really enjoy finding in other people. So we ended up
green flags.
green flags.
Green flags.
Yeah, so
we're doing green
flags.
flags.
yeah, so we talk about
Maybe we should do 1 red flag and 2 green flags.
What
okay,
about
let's do it that way.
a red flag in ourselves or a red flag that like
A red flag in ourselves, right?
Okay,
Because we
and
have
then
to be
green
aware
flags in
awareness.
others.
Green flags and others. Yeah. So, Sammy, your red flag.
My red flag?
How the fuck is she gonna know her own red flag though?
It starts with awareness.
I think this goes based off of like the whole like kink situation. I'll start arguments if I'm like horny.
That is not what I expected to hear next to me.
Neither. You'll start
Yeah.
arguments if you're horny, and you like guys with blouses. How does that work?
I don't.
That's
Oh.
what. No,
But
that's
That's
she-
what,
just
no,
the type
that's-
of guys that I attract.
Oh, okay.
you should have
I
seen
don't
this
know.
last dude that we had this event. This
Maybe
creator
they're
event.
just
I think that's actually the
'Cause
first
I
time I've
want
ever
it-
heard
I
that.
want it to get a little spicy, and then we can fuck about it.
There we go.
that's
Okay.
cute.
So she likes that angry sex. Okay.
Yeah.
Oh.
Makeup sex.
Oh.
See, healthy toxicity. Just gotta
Yes. As
It's-
long as.
but it's like, yeah.
Yeah. As long
My
as you
partner
find a
has
healthy
to know
partner.
about it.
But are you like into S&M? Like you're submissive?
Slightly. Yeah.
Got
Ain't
it.
nothing
Nothing
wrong
too
with
crazy
that.
though.
No,
Nothing too, I don't want you.
We'll have to
fucking
talk about
punching me
that
or
on another
anything.
podcast.
Right?
Yeah.
Listen, everything,
To each their own.
Yeah. Well, I was going to say.
You got to try everything once.
Yeah.
sure.
Or twice. Or a lifestyle.
Yeah, exactly. Okay, green flags that you like to recognize in other people.
Green flags that I like to recognize in other people. The way that they treat like customer service people.
Mm.
Like,
Absolutely.
I want you to treat somebody who's like they say the CEO of the company the same as the janitor.
Absolutely.
You know, that's like something really, really fucking important to me because it's like if you were in that position, you would want somebody to treat you nicely.
Yes.
You know, you don't know what people are going through. You don't know why they have these jobs. You know,
And
you
it
can't
shows
look at-
character. You know
Yeah.
what I mean?
Exactly.
Like you're no better than anybody else. And
Yeah.
you know, you could have been a waiter in your life before. So how could you treat somebody badly?
Yeah.
I
Also,
agree
we only do that in America where we treat people based on their position. And yet in other cultures, everyone in their community is celebrated. So it's an interesting, like, yeah, I'm big on that one too.
What else?
2 more green
Oh,
flags.
two
No,
more green
one.
flags.
One
One
more.
more.
One more green flag. I mean, it just comes down to like being aware, you know, like the way that I have a conversation with somebody, if they're aware of themselves and the way that they act, and they like, I even like people who admit their like faults and stuff because it means you're aware, you know. I'd rather you admit your fault to me and like let me know that you did something, knowing that you did it, rather than somebody who did it subconsciously and just is a fucking douchebag, you know, or an asshole. So
Yeah.
What about
Just people who are aware in
red flag,
general.
too? Like a red flag about another guy, a red flag about yourself, and then 2 green flags.
I'm trying to stay a little bit more positive today.
Yeah.
I might say a non-sexual red flag for me though would probably be like
Are all your flags sex flags?
no, because you know I'm still healing. I'm still on my self-love journey. So I feel like whenever I come across a situation where like things are not, I don't know. For example, my last situationship, he put me through the situation where like he put me through a test.
Ooh, no.
Oh,
And
God.
it was basically he didn't talk to me all day. Like he purposely like
So that's
was, like,
what- that's
ignoring me.
stonewalling.
to see if I would go and like ask
Beg
him what's
him?
wrong and like
Yeah.
beg him.
Yeah.
They
type
like
shit.
guys like insecure
Guys
guys,
love that shit.
love
Yeah.
for you to beg them.
So I feel like one
I'm not with
That's a
that.
red
I
flag.
feel like
That
one red
is.
flag of mine is probably because it did make sense at the end of the day because when he talked to me about it at the end of the day and told me that he put me through a test,
No.
I was like, well, when like if I was upset, I'm the type of person that needs space, and so that's what I did for him. I gave him space. So I feel like maybe I have to, you know.
No, that's a communication thing. What he did was stonewalling and emotional manipulation, emotional abuse.
Okay, I came to
Yeah.
that conclusion already.
Okay, good.
But it was
Because that's how
also-
I got involved in more narcissistic relationships. Was I was like, is it my fault? Did I do
Yeah.
something wrong?
It's never
No.
our
He-
fault.
that
But-
is a communication thing. He lacked communication and he emotionally manipulated you.
But also
Testing
the thing
behaviors
is, I didn't go out of my way to ask him anything at all. And
That
be
doesn't
like,
matter.
Hey, like,
It wasn't your
what's going
responsibility.
on? You know what I mean? I literally just dropped everything and I gave him his space. I didn't like bother him because when I'm upset, I need my space and I don't want anybody talking to me. So that's exactly what I did for him. When I didn't even really consider like even though I know he manipulated me in that type of situation, it also opened me up to the fact that like, hey, you need to understand other people have their own ways of dealing with shit too. So you need to ask and like accommodate that too.
Sure.
You
So
know?
you did a healthy behavior. And then next will be picking people who also engage in healthy behavior. So you engaged like love. You engaged in an act of love in a healthy way. I see my partner's going through something. Moving forward, now to be a boundary, we're moving forward. I don't engage with people who are emotionally immature, stonewall, manipulative, or test.
Yeah.
Period.
I know the test was crazy. As soon as
That's
he told me
so
you put me
fucked
through
up.
a test, I was like, "What the fuck is wrong with you?" like you clearly are not self-aware enough to like just communicate what the fuck you're feeling, you know? Like you have to put you feel like you have to put me through a test. That's crazy.
Yeah. This is the shit right here that gives me so much hope for the younger generation, because I don't know about you guys, but I didn't speak like this or know anything like this when I was younger. This is the shit that gives me hope. Yeah, you're going to still have to go through life. The younger generation is still going to have to overcome some shit. Each generation kind of pings back from different things. We have a cyclical type of, every huge generation has an awakening. We kind of go through it numerous times. It's almost like the 70s happening again. But this gives me so much hope. So much hope.
Thank you.
Oof.
Appreciate that. It's tough because our generation, you know, we go through different problems now.
Yes.
We have social media, so we can see everybody's problems online, you know? So instead of me falling into that, I just kind of learned from it.
Yeah.
Because I feel like I kind of started to do that already with my parents' relationship growing up. Because I mentioned previously my dad cheated on my mom, so that was kind of the first, like, curveball of life at me that I was just kind of like, oh, men act like this. Like, even if you have a child with somebody, they're still gonna act like this. So
Yeah.
you just have to be aware, you know.
Social media, I'm not against it at all, but I think it did change the rules of engagement a lot,
Absolutely.
right? It like
I hate it. To
just
be honest.
Yeah.
I just had a conversation with somebody about how it even changed the way that children play, because it's
Ooh.
even dictated the way that you're supposed to have an imagination, and I have a huge problem with that. But one of the things I will say about what attracted me to your content in the first place, a lot of content creators, and this is just true about the way that culture is formed, is this idea of like negating someone else, right? Or saying no to somebody else. It's the easiest way to establish authority, by saying how I'm right and you're wrong,
Oh,
right? Action doesn't happen.
right?
Authority through action happens less, right? And most content creators are attracted to like how you're wrong. Let me show you how you're wrong.
Yeah.
Let me show you how I'm an authority in this space by showing you how you're wrong. And none of your content has any of that energy. You have such positive energy on your content, like on your TikTok lives. It's all just like supplemental to who your like audience is. Like they're engaging with you, like you know their birthdays, you know their names. I think that's something so incredibly special
Wow.
about your content. And I do want to just put that out there, that I appreciate that about you.
Thank you.
That's really nice. You heard it. He said it.
Next
I love
All right. Red flag in myself, power plays. I still love playing with power plays. So whenever I'm around someone and I'm feeling like I want to, or whenever I'm feeling inadequate or insecure and I'm going to go out there, I'm going to get mine, I'm going to do me, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do all that. I have to be very mindful of that, because typically I know that if I go out or if I do anything or if I engage with that energy, I'm usually going to walk around and get around people who are also unhealed or another narcissist. So there's a part of me that like, I love it though. I love power exchange. So that leads us into certain lifestyle things where you get to get that out with healthy partners. But there's a power exchange dynamic because that's what I grew up seeing. It was my mom. I love my mom. My mom's a bad, MF, but she's got her toxicity. I love you to death, mom. But and my first original like power play situation was that. So there's a part of me that like, I love puzzles and I love games and I love winning. And there's a part of me, yeah. So that kind of thing in me is that now what I do is I look at what is the healthy version of that. So now I find people to play games with, not against. So
Right.
that's my
That's good.
yeah, I try and do that. But that's my red flag in me, is that there's definitely competitive nature. I embrace it now today. But sometimes I can be a little bit more on the side of like, if someone pings my like power issues or my like, feelings of inadequacy, I want to like win over, I want to win. So
Okay, what are your 2 green flags?
green flags would be in other people. I'm trying to find a word for it, but people who are, a green flag is like actually doing the work. When I hear and see, because it's different, because I did date someone who was trying to do the work. I think he might have been like covert narcissist, according to like a bunch of therapists and everything else. And I was like, oh yeah, that makes sense. But what attracted me to him was that he was trying to understand the work and do the work. And that's a very attractive quality for me, is like when I see someone that's like, okay, let me journal about this and see what's going on in my subconscious, and then we'll talk about it. And then they're actually learning about like other people, like someone who's on their purpose, who's going, I've gone through things because my job is to go through it and then help others. That is the most attractive freaking thing to me ever. Someone who understands that like even just healing and loving yourself alone is actually why we're on this planet, is to like just heal and fall in love with yourself and relationships. So when I see people do that, I'm like, oh, I love it. So that's the one green flag. And then the other one is, I mean, that kind of like sums up all of it. I would say, right? Other green flag is respect.
That's a good one.
Yeah. Respect
Bro,
from them.
that's a huge one. Yeah.
Like you were saying, if I see them being kind to a waiter, and not just because I'm around or I'm paying attention, but like that's just how you move. Because I'll watch when you think I'm not watching.
For sure.
Yeah, it's that one. And it's one thing, like, don't get me wrong, I'm a smart ass. I love that stuff. There's a difference between, right, being a smart ass, but then someone who actually like genuinely is like, yo, I'm not lesser or above anyone else. We are all on this planet together. Like, I see you. People
Especially
who, yeah.
me.
Yeah. Love that.
Well, those are great green flags and interesting red flags in our guest that came today. We kind of have to wrap up because time's up. We've already talked about our fucking flags a million times, so nobody cares to hear the same shit again. And yeah, that is the end of our episode. Is it 9 or 8?
I think so. Yeah, 9.
We're gonna wrap up. We had a great conversation, a great time. I had a lot of fun. Thank you guys so much for coming. It was amazing and beautiful. You guys are beyond beautiful.
This is amazing. You guys, this energy and all of it. Like, I know that we were like shooting the shit and like off each other, but this was amazing. Thank you guys
I
so
had
much.
a great time.
Yeah.
Me too.
Appreciate it, guys. Thank you very much.
Yeah, thank
and
you.
we'll see you guys again next week.
Yes. Amen.
She said amen.
She said
Amen.
amen. I know.
Woo.
Yeah, that was a fucking blast.
That was so much fun.
Fuck. I knew it too. I was like, there's so many things that all of us could talk about.
I'm gonna let him stop the recording because I don't want to touch it.
Yeah. Call him
I'm gonna go get my herded.
in. You have to head out.
No.
Oh.
My appointment was at, I don't even know what time. It's over.
What appointment do you have?
I had a dentist, but they changed it to 3:30.
Mm,
So it's okay.
I'm getting my hair done.